stagnant. That's coming in from the Ekunfi MP. Mpox cases rises to 107. That's the big story on the news center. Some few more stories. Exporting corruption from Ghana and importing shame from America. I think that's an article they have here. Cyber criminals, 16 billion login credentials have been leaked online. And that's some for international story making rounds. And yesterday we brought this, but maybe I'll just rehash it. Don't blame Chinese nationals for Galamsey. The ambassador has been speaking. And Eno, guess what? Naming ceremony turns deadly as one killed in Bawe shootout.
Very unfortunate. Is a queen mother, I understand.
Wow.
Interesting. I'm on graphiconline.com, the portal. Some of the stories you'll find there. Names of first batch of President Mahama's ambassadors out. Kojo Bonsu for China, Kalsum Sinari Bafu for Spain. Building collapses at London Bridge in Cape Coast and traps 5 people, 2 feared dead. Enough of old men presidents in Ghana. Young people should take over. Guess who's saying that? Jude Martin Pebu. Here in Accra, Queen Mother killed at naming ceremony in Bawe. Kaswa burglary suspect arrested in Agbobloshi after CCTV review. Ablekuma North MCE seeks unity among traditional leaders. Anti-corruption institutions call for media CSO's support in asset recovery. Cape Coast Assembly holds engagement on 8-year development plan. Environmental financial costs of Galamsey and illegal clothes dumping. Oath-taking not mere formality, so many High Court judge to traditional council members. Hair press launched to champion women's voices in media, and 70 African journalists to be schooled on NTDs. And then equip your children with life skills. Parents are being urged to do so.
And let me take you to the foreign front, right? The BBC is reporting big story. Last night we saw the press conference by U.S. President Donald Trump being flanked by his vice president, his Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Now, the big story: U.S. bombs Iran nuclear sites, and Tehran warns of everlasting consequences.
Oof. when I saw Trump,
it was like I'm playing with it.
Then I went to the comment section, and the Americans were just commenting like, Charlie, they don't understand why he would go and do that. And then sometimes I wonder, but you people voted for him. What were you expecting? And then there was a comment that someone wrote that everybody here is condemning what he did, so who voted for him? But I feel like, I don't know, according to the U.S. citizens, it feels like they have bitten more than they can chew on this one.
Do you believe in the silent majority theory in politics? They usually won't make noise, but when they enter the booth, wow. But that's the big story, and it's taking everybody by surprise. And Trump, he's been talking a lot. I watched that press conference from start to finish, or that press briefing, and he really interesting thoughts he has around some of these things. But of course, Iran has been responding to him, and they said that the U.S. should prepare for everlasting consequences. As to what it means, it's too early to tell. But some other stories: Iran's secretive nuclear site that the only U.S. bomb could hit. Some analysis by BBC verified their fact-checking initiative on the story. Now, Israel says it killed Iran's military coordinator with Hamas. Belarus opposition leader's husband freed from prison. Some more stories. Hot air balloon incident kills 8 in Brazil. And Rosenberg, Russia government clearly nervous as country faces economic challenges. Freed Colombia activist vows to continue support for Palestinian rights. And very finally here, there's an article on the war that's happening, or let me say, the Israel-Iran tensions and what its implications could be for the rest of the world. But the big story, U.S. bombs Iran nuclear sites, and Tehran warns of everlasting consequences. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed the operation as a spectacular military success. And he ends by saying, God bless the Middle East, God bless, Israel, and God bless
America.
really, really interesting character. I'll bring details of that story later on. But we can delve into
let me quickly go here. gna.org.gh. Some of the stories. Sand mining in Adidome disrupts water treatment. Ghana Water Limited issues appeal. Customs Tema sector ready for 24-hour implementation. That's according to the sector commander. Cabinet approves Ghana Medical Trust Fund bill. Mahama Cares has been approved. Government to retool security services with 1 billion Ghana cedis. Agencies under Interior Ministry support Mahama Cares Fund with 1 million Ghana cedis. Government begins process of procuring beds for Nkukon Kiti initiative. UHAS hosts cancer care stakeholder engagement with American Cancer Society support. 2 dead, 3 injured after building collapses during downpour in Cape Coast. And the editor's pick, Addie's Assessment and Counseling Hub commissioned in Ho. So yes, we can delve into some of our stories now.
I wanted to start with the story around the Greek minister's comment on banning the importation of
chicken,
of poultry, right? And the headline says, local poultry production too low for imports ban, a Greek minister, Eric Opoku. So the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, has stressed the need for Ghana to significantly boost its domestic poultry production before considering a ban on poultry imports. Speaking at the 2025 Agri-Fair held at the First Sutherland Children's Park in Accra on Saturday, June 21, hosted by Channel One TV, the minister noted that Ghana's current production levels fall far short of national consumption, making an immediate ban unrealistic. Mr. Opoku indicated that the government is instead prioritizing strategies to increase local production. Central to this approach, he said, is the shift from rain-fed to irrigation-based agriculture, which will allow for year-round farming. He further reviewed that government under the Feed Ghana program is focused on expanding irrigation structure to boost food or to boost crop and livestock output across the year. For me, it's the way we often, based on which government throw about terminologies, right? So, for example, this government is Feed Ghana program, right? If you look at the model, it's not structurally,
different
or entirely too different from what we witnessed in the previous administration with regards to Operation Feed Yourself, right?
Yeah.
Even though this one doesn't involve the minister carting foodstuffs to the ministry for people to come and buy, actually planting for food and jobs, rather. So my point is that there should be some continuity in policy, right? But of course, when it becomes successful, government will be quick to take credit. The previous government will be quick to say, well, we started it. So when a new government comes, they want to put aside everything and now start their own, even though sometimes we see that there's some kind of direct correlation or similarity between the policy proposal. And for me, I'm like, see, if they had come and they even said they are continuing
Operation Feed Yourself,
or even planting for food and jobs, right? Maybe with a little tweaks here and there, based on political leanings and ideologies and stuff like that. Probably cool. But for me, I think the whole thing where we put everything aside and try and start something again, when resources have been committed to it, studies have been done sometimes, in some cases, researches and all of that. For me, it doesn't really sit well. You can make this argument in as Greek as you can for different sectors of the economy. So for me, once we say government is a continuum, we should practicalize it, not necessarily, in rhetoric.
I don't think that thing works here in Ghana. Government as a continuum.
Yeah, you say it all the time.
Whatever happened to the National Development Planning Commission? When they supposed to be in charge of making sure that we have a plan that every government, regardless of which party comes into power, continues that.
Exactly.
Whatever plan that they come out
Dr.
with.
Nimoy Thompson, I like his energy. I think he deeply cares about this country, right? So he started it before, and of course, a new government came, the NPP. Now he's back there again. So we'll be looking forward to the leadership you bring. And if they could back it by, stronger legislation to make it more binding on whichever government is in place, right? I'm sure it'll be better for it as a people. But hey, shout outs to the Agric Ministry for showing interest. Beyond the interest, they should show commitment and action. And one way they can do so is by, taking the points, the fallouts, the ideas discussed, what they've seen at the Agri-Fair into action. Support local industry, have a plan for young farmers, make it attractive, or as Dumelo says, sexy, you know, for young people to enter into farming.
Gen Z lingo.
Yeah. You know, we can't continue on the tangent of having 95% of our chicken consumption being imported. And sometimes I've been told that it's 10-year-old chicken and things.
I mean, how long has it been on the ocean?
On the sea, you know, traversing Antarctic and Charlie Pacific. Can it be, you know? No, you have to change that. You know, look at how the fresh chicken even tastes in your light soup or your granite soup. When you're cracking the bowl, you can see that no, you know. So please, let's support livestock.
Someone will tell you the spices.
You know, a lot of people are risk averse, and you know, because of this, you know, the struggles within the sector, sometimes they fear. But you know, if there's that solid government support in terms of funding opportunities, I think we'll be better off. So shout out Agric Minister. Ekopoku, we too chema. Why you now? But let's do more. Amazing. You have some other stories.
Yeah, but technology is failing me, so let me rely on my phone. Quickly open the story.
There's a story around the new Envoys.
Yeah, that's what I had opened, and then you can give us that story on City, right?
Mahama appoints, yes, on citynewsroom.com. Mahama appoints Kalsum Sinari, Namwale, Kojo Bonsu in first batch of Envoys. What's your favorite Kalsum Sinari movie?
I don't, to be honest with you, I really don't remember movie titles. I'm that bad. Like, I can watch a movie, but if you describe it to me, I'm like, yeah, I've watched it. I just don't remember the title. So
she was in Princess Tyra, right?
I think she was Tyra's mom.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's some really interesting work.
She was the maid?
You know, she was in there somewhere. But I see she's actually a very good friend's mom. So, yeah.
So you were doing by association now.
Oh yeah, by association. Shakil, you have to do the needful. I didn't want to mention your name on air, but
can you imagine?
Yeah. So President John Dramani Mahama has nominated 15 individuals for ambassadorial and consular positions with notable names including veteran actress Kalsum Sinari and former member of Parliament Ni Amasa Namwale. The nominations follow consultations with the Council of State and are the first batch of such appointments since President Mahama assumed office in January 2025. The list was contained in a letter dated June 10, 2025 from the Office of the President to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Kalsum Sinari, a household name in Ghana's creative arts industry, has been nominated to serve as Ghana's ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain. Ni Amasa Namwale, a seasoned politician and former MP for Ladade Kotopon, has been picked to represent Ghana in Brazil as ambassador to the Federative Republic. Known for his grassroots mobilization skills and strong ties within the party, his appointment is expected to deepen Ghana's engagement with Latin America's largest economy. So, just very briefly, the list, right? Benjamin Kwashi is headed to Republic of South Africa. Kojo Bonsu, who you know very well from former Kumasi Mayor.
I wonder how that will pan out.
But you know,
Kojo Bonsu in China.
I listened to his interview with Samens on Footprints. And I was so impressed with his tenure. As you know, it's very difficult to be a leader of a party in power, but in an opposition city,
yeah.
You know, an opposition stronghold.
Yeah.
Because everything you do is like unfairly and sometimes even unreasonably scrutinized, right? But I think he left quite an impression, right? So, for example, the Ratri Park, you know, and so many other things. You know, he was keen on, you know, development, sanitation. I was really impressed, right?
But he did a good job. He did a good job. He was very approachable too, regardless of what people say. He was very approachable.
So Kojo Bonsu headed to China. And
I wonder how that will pan out, though.
If we listen to some of, you know, the experts within the space, they tell us that China is, you know, I think the country we do the most business with regards to exports.
Yeah,
you know, just,
I think the foreign affairs minister has secured a 0%.
Well, it was for all. It was like for 53. It was for 53 African countries.
Well,
you know, so,
regardless,
media framing is everything, right? Because he was quick to come and report it until media deepened or went further and realized that it was for all African countries but one. So, you know, but of course, nobody has to come and tell your story. So he came to say his own. But people were like, oh, at least you should have added that it was for the whole of Africa. So as to not create the impression that it was you know,
the other African countries can report their own. We are reporting
shout outs to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Minister for Foreign Affairs. Great guy. No, sorry, I was mentioning the name.
Yes, you had just finished mentioning Kojo Bonsu.
Yeah, Kojo Bonsu is headed to China. Hamed Rashid Tunde Ali is headed to the United Arab Emirates. Grace El Mahmoud Marab, Consul General Dubai. Prof. Ohineje, Federal Republic of Germany. Abdul Nasiruddin, Turkey. Theresa J. Mensah, Czech Republic. Prof. Kwesi Obri Danso, India. Dora Francisca Edu Buando, doctor and PhD, is headed to Canada. Dr. Dora, I have to come and see you for some things.
Yeah, it's nothing that she can give you.
Dr. Mary Chiribre.
Margaret,
sorry, I beg your pardon. Margaret Chibere is headed to Austria. Labig Joseph Yani, Equatorial Guinea. Captain George Kofi Nojo, Togo Republic. And Dr. Felix Kuma Godwin, Anebo Republic of Senegal. Congratulations to them. We wish them well, and we hope that they represent the country in the best possible way.
Yeah, let me bring this unfortunate story on the graphiconline.com, where the Queen Mother has been killed at Bauwe.
Sad one.
So, a child naming ceremony turned bloody at Bauwe, a suburb of Accra, last Thursday, when a Queen Mother was shot dead by unknown gunmen. Another woman who was hit by a bullet during the incident is currently admitted at the hospital and responding to treatment. The deceased, Pearl Na Dodua Whitaker, 33, was a mother of 2. According to persons close to her, her installment rites had been completed and she was only awaiting coronation. Her stool name is said to be Na Ejinafo I in Papase, a community on the Accra-Nsawam Road. The police have since confirmed the incident, saying that investigations into the matter were ongoing. Dodoko Divisional Police Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Kofi Sapon, who visited the crime scene, said a chief by name Ni Ayi Solomon, 44, known in private life as Ibrahim Ayi Kwashi Solomon, came to reports that there had been a shooting incident at his residence where he was organizing a naming ceremony for his newborn baby. The chief indicated that the program started at 10 a.m. and by 4 p.m., people had started filing out, leaving a few people around. According to the chief, the program started at 10, so by 4, people had started leaving. He rushed back home and saw 2 ladies lying down. Around 7 p.m., there had been a shooting at the venue, and immediately he organized a vehicle to take them to the hospital. ACP Sapon revealed that the chief was currently in police custody to assist in investigations.
That's really sad. You know, why should the naming ceremony turn
bloody? When
you've
brought life and then you're naming the child, and this unfortunate situation happens. Oh, wow. Hey, Mansour Dubia, 16 suspects have been picked up for illegal mining. What did you think about what the Chinese ambassador said?
See, if you go back to the interview Bernard had with the U.S. ambassador outgoing, right?
Yeah.
You know,
she said something similar?
No, she said there was a line she used, you know, around, you know, the U.S. being responsible in countries they go to, talking about the fact that they don't destroy our water bodies, you know, through illegal mining. She has not mentioned anybody's name.
Yeah.
But she said that they don't go into people's country, and, you know, and that bit was on social media, and people were saying their own things, you know, but you see, the other point too is that you can't discount what I think is a fact on the matter. Which other country do we see a lot of foreign nationals being reported to have been arrested or engaged in illegal mining? You see, there's some truism to it in a sense that we see an overwhelming number of Chinese being involved, and you can do a simple Google search on the number of Chinese that have been arrested in the last 5 years, for example. The very notable Galamsey Queen, who were all very, you know, we all dreaded, you know, for him. She was Chinese. You know, she was deported, found her way back
into the country.
You know, so it's a very difficult conversation to have, of course, because of diplomacy and everything. Of course, and some of these Chinese nationals have accomplices who are Ghanaians and maybe some other nationals. But you can't really discount the fact that quite a number of Chinese, nationalities have been involved in Galamsey. So I don't think it's also a fair label to say Chinese nationals in Ghana or,
some Chinese
but
nationals
some Chinese
in Ghana.
nationals are involved. And it's important that we highlight it and find a proper, diplomatic way of going around this. We wanted to bring us that story.
Yes.
Are Chinese nationals involved?
Yes. So 16...
make it make sense.
16 suspects picked up at Mansour Dubia. So the police has arrested 16 suspects during an anti-illegal mining operation at Esuminya and Apaprama forest reserves in the Ashanti region. The joint operation conducted on June 19 involved personnel drawn from the National Police Headquarters and the Mansour Dubia districts. The team embarked on the operation to clamp down on illegal mining activities within the forest reserves. During the operation, 16 suspects were arrested while actively engaging in illegal mining activities. The suspects are Kwesi Frimpong, Samuel Otre, Jackson Anabuafo, Sadiq Abubakar, Collins Asari, Joshua Furi, Emmanuel Akwesi, Augustine Mensah, Stephen Amoako, Vincent Ofuri, Andrew Zopon, Nyaba Atonkoni, Stephen Kwabena Owusu, George Baji, Dogumu Frederick, and Cheka Cheng, a foreign national. I like how they put his name last.
Kojo Bonsu, we beg you, let's find a way around this.
We really need to find a way around it. Yeah.
Chinese,
They retrieved 4 excavators and some other live cartridges, BB, and some pump action guns and pumping machines.
Just very briefly, I want to bring you 2 stories. One is health related, one is politics, and probably end with the US-Iran issue very briefly.
All right.
Western region records 71% of Ghana's Mpox cases. Health alert issued. Now, this story is from the Western Regional Health Directorate. They've triggered its public health emergency response system following a sharp rise in monkeypox cases, with the region now accounting for 71% of all confirmed cases nationwide. The announcement was made at the Western Regional Development Retreat held in Esipon. 71%, that's high. I want to appeal to the Ghana Health Service, the Health Ministry, to pay keen attention to this. And of course, if you're in the region, please take your safety precautions very seriously. Story by William Na, citynewsroom.com. Current MPP executives must go for fresh mandates. That's coming in from Dr. Arthur Kennedy, a former MPP presidential aspirant. Former New Patriotic Party presidential aspirant Dr. Arthur Kennedy has urged the party's current national executives to seek a fresh mandate ahead of the 2028 general election. Speaking on the big issue on Saturday, June 21, 2025, Dr. Kennedy stressed that this call is not necessarily a critique of their performance, but a vital democratic step to realign the party's leadership with its grassroots base. It goes on to say, he explained that a renewed electoral process will allow party supporters to express approval or disapproval of specific individuals within the executive body. I listened to his full 20 minutes interview with Salom, and he makes the point that it's not necessarily a smart move to elect a presidential candidate early. And there's no guarantee between electing a presidential candidate early and a win in the general election. And his point is that sometimes you elect close to the election because the mood of the nation can change, right? And that would help inform the kind of candidates to bring. So for example, if you're getting to the election and the economy is terrible, you can't go and elect a pastor who has no background really in understanding macroeconomy and the likes, right? Or if you reach a point going to the election where there's a struggle with like the moral decadence, or you feel like the society is becoming more and more depraved, certain people come up, and he likens it to the Obama Hope, campaign in 2008 when he moved from relative obscurity, right, to prominence as the Democratic Party leader. But of course, the arguments will still go on. We'll be hearing a lot more views on some of these things, but he's put it out there. The interviews on our Channel 1 YouTube channel. You can go and see for yourself some of the interesting arguments he read. But finally, before you bring what you have and we take leave, US bombs Iran nuclear sites and Tehran and warns of everlasting consequences. I'm reading from BBC, so I'll just do the summary of the story. First point, the US bombs 3 major nuclear sites in Iran, bringing the country directly into an into the Israel-Iran conflict. Some people have now said Israel-Iran-US conflict. Donald Trump says the strikes totally obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities and tells Tehran to make peace or face far greater attacks in the future. In response, Iran's foreign minister warns of everlasting consequences to the outrageous strikes. The story goes on to say the UN's nuclear watchdog says no increase in radiation levels has been detected. The UK was not involved in the US strikes, even though they're really close ally of the US, but was told about them in advance. The BBC understands. Now, Alice Cady in Jerusalem reporting for BBC says, with this headline says, it's always good to have a backup, says Tel Aviv resident. Some other headline here, Starmer's response to the strike, neither full-throated support nor criticism. So clearly the UK is in the middle with all that is going. But clearly, we are on really slippery grounds with what's happening at the world stage. And Charlie, others should come. Somebody should just put that, like, there's no single benefit of war. So I don't even know why we sought to flirt around the idea of it.
World War III. I hope that doesn't happen.
Charlie,
but
not flesh eating the fufu, we have to eat too.
All right, Daniel Foley standing by to give us some melodious tunes.
Good and for his mercies endure forever. Is anybody grateful for the goodness of God for taking us through another week? Song says, I'll bring you now, I'll bring you now. When I look over my life and everything you have done for me, you've done for me, for me. You are good, and your mercy is forever. You are good, and your mercy is forever. You are good, and your mercy is forever. Your mercy is forever. Your mercy is forever. It is forever. It is forever. Oh, forever and ever. Oh, your mercy is forever. Lord, you've been my savior, redeemer, protector, my lover. That's who you are. That's who you've been to me. When I look over my life and every little thing you have done for me, you keep doing for me. Oh, Samikaika, all the things you've done for me. I broke my chain in Tiasiaso. I wake up on my day now. Samikaika, every little thing you've done for me. I broke my chain in Tiasiaso. I just came to say thank you, Lord. You are good, and your mercy is forever. You are good, and your mercy is forever. Oh Lord, you are good, and your mercy is forever. Your mercy is forever. It is forever. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it is, oh, forever and ever. you are, say forever, forever. Your goodness is forever. No, 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 no. Oh, oh, oh. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Forever, yeah. Thank you, I can. And your mercy is forever. You are good, and your mercy is forever. From January to December, it's forever. Oh, oh, oh. So this next song is Odomi. The Bible says that we love him because he first loved us. It's a very simple song. Wherever you are, I just want you to join us sing. Oh no, yeah. Oh. Adome, yeah. Na make sure me don't need me, yeah. Yes, you don't me, yeah. Na make sure me don't need me, make sure me don't need me, yeah. You will never leave my side, no. Not in my darkest night, no, no. You will always raise your standard. When the enemy comes like a floodgate, no. Yes, you would do young and go torment your sea. That's the truth I can't deny. Yeah, your love never fails me. No, Adome. Now me so me don't me. Yes, you don't me. Yeah. Now me so me don't need be. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lord, you promise that you will stay with me. And you promise never to let me go. Oh, no. In the morning, in the noontime, even in the deepest part of the night, your love never fails me, oh no. Oh no, no, no. Adome. I mean, see me don't leave me. Say yes, so don't I lift your voice, say Adome. Oh na na na, yeah. I mean, see me don't leave me. Means to me don't need be intimate, na my soul, yeah, yeah. This is my promise to you, Lord. Metal, na my soul, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, metal. Makumenina bedo, yeah, yeah. Oh, and intimate, medo. Makumenina bedo, yeah, yeah. Oh, he loves me. I know it, that Jesus loves me, yeah. No, he loves loves me. Yes, I believe it. Jesus loves me. He loves me. No, no. No, no. He loves me, yeah. Come on. Oh, na, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No. My Jesus, He loves me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ooh. He loves me. Oh. I'm going to do this song. Title is His Coming. It's actually like a rapture song. Just to remind all of us that Jesus is coming again. And everything we do, we need to still keep this in mind. Walked on the sea, raised the dead, fed the multitude. He made the blind see, healed the leper. He rescued the prostitute. He was beaten to pain and he was crucified. He did it all for me and he did it all for you. For this reason He gave us His word that will know the difference between the good and the bad as we go through life, so we could tell the world about His love. Oh, tell the world about His love. He's coming back, not to seek and to save, but to take us away. He's coming back now, so make up your mind, make up your mind now. He's coming back, not to seek and to save, but to take us away. Jesus is coming back, so make up your mind, make up your mind now. Oh, yeah, yeah. Make up your mind now. Oh, forget about the past, focus on now. Because we're moving forward. Live a good life, man, just be real. No more lies, no pretense, no. For this reason He gave us His word that will know the difference between the good and the bad as we go through life, so we could tell the world about this love. Oh no, the world about His love, saying that He's coming back, not to seek and to save, but to take us away. Jesus is coming back, so make up your mind, make up your mind. He's coming back, not to seek and to save, but to take us away. He's coming back, so make up your mind, make up your mind. Oh, oh, make up your mind, make up your mind. Whoever you are, wherever you are, make up your mind. It can be any time, it can be any time. Make up your mind. Oh, So make up your mind, make up your mind. Boy, make up your mind, make up your mind.
Asilwela ukunqoba kuphela, kepha silwela ukwakha isizwe esinohlonze.
Sekunjalo.
Imagine a place where technology and compassion meet. A sanctuary of health, precision, and trust. At Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, we redefine excellence. From advanced ultrasound, X-ray, and CT scan services to accurate laboratory, cardiology, and dentistry, our mission is clear: to provide the care you deserve with accuracy, precision, and speed. Your trusted healthcare partner, Olive Health Diagnostics, always ready whenever you need us. Olive Health Diagnostics and Imaging, redefining excellence in medical diagnostics.
Brand new on DSTV. When a nominee to the Supreme Court dies, his family begins to suspect foul play.
Dad knew that he was in trouble.
Hollywood's darkest scandals are exposed in this gripping 6-part documentary series.
You have violence, fraud, homicide.
And a rich and powerful family is thrown into turmoil when a young woman claims to be the owner's illegitimate daughter.
You have another daughter.
Stay connected to everything new on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
On the Upside Down Show this week, we present to you the bold, vibrant, and brilliant Anita Esking. Expect nothing short of real talk, raw truths, and revelations. We always need that one opportunity to sprout, and she, like any other, isn't an exception. Ghana made me, she said.
My career started here.
Here in Ghana.
Right? Ghana is my foundation. 150%.
Great.
Home is what built me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ghana is what built me. If you see Anita and who Anita is today, it's because Ghana built me. Yeah, 100%.
To the land.
You know?
Right.
So love you, Canada, but Ghana built me.
And even though she's perceived as a superwoman, she's had to make tough decisions at some point.
I had to take 2 steps back away from my career. And also, and this is what I share with a lot of my friends and my colleagues now is a wonderful appreciation that in different phases of your life, you are a particular person.
Right.
You don't have to be the same person you were before that.
Exactly.
You have nobody to please.
So, set your reminder and join us at 7 p.m. this Sunday, only on Channel 1 TV.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
Welcome back to Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV with myself, Jude Duncan. And Osafo is also in studio with me. It's now time to discuss our health conversations as we usually do on the show. Today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic. We call it the attention deficit and also the hyperactivity disorder. What does it entail? Are you suffering from it? What are some of the available remedy, to help address some of these concerns we'll be looking at on the show? And to help us do that, we have Dr. Annie Gazy, who is a behavioral, specialist, deals a lot of things around helping people understand themselves better and why certain things happen, the thought processes of it and all of that. And today, she'll be helping us with a very important conversation on attention deficit. We were saying some things before we got in the studio, even though I largely disagree with you. But I feel like it's a very important conversation.
Yes, it is a very important conversation because often than not, you see a lot of it in children. And I feel, for one thing, we don't really understand it here. I don't know about now, but back then, we didn't understand it then. In class, there were a few students who couldn't even sit down.
Yeah.
Does it ring a bell?
No, I don't think so. And they usually fidget a lot.
I feel I'm describing Jude. I don't know about you, but if anybody out there knows Jude, know that Jude has pins and needles in his butt. He can't sit down for 2 seconds. But I don't know. Maybe Dr. Annie can help us to understand better what ADHD is. But as usual, the show is live and interactive. So if you have any messages or any questions that you'd like us to ask Dr. Annie for you, the number to send it to, WhatsApp number 0204 447 033, 0204 447 033, and we would read it here on the show for you. Alternatively, you can use our social media platforms and hashtag Sunday Breakfast, and we'll read it right here on the show for you. Dr. Annie, good morning.
Good morning, Anna.
How are you doing?
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, Doc.
How are you both?
We're very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Great.
It's good to be here.
good to have you.
My second home.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. Doc, we're talking ADHD today, addictive behavior, attention deficit hyperactivity behavior. What at all is ADHD?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. And I was listening to you talking to Jude and how you were breaking it down and how society sees it. Yes, it's about time. So I'm glad that you're talking about this. So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a condition where the brain works differently to most people. So it's a neurodevelopmental disorder with symptoms of inattentiveness, which you were talking about. So difficulty, the person would have difficulty concentrating and focusing on one thing or, throughout, across. It's most specialists would say that something to do with the brain chemical dopamine, reduction in dopamine. So you see children acting out in class, or maybe not sitting still, or people misunderstanding that they don't understand the topic, or jumping from one thing to the other, or, so teachers might just misunderstand, or even parents will call that child the naughty child. And it's not just in Ghana, it's been like this for so many years. It's just quite recently that people are realizing, or specialists are realizing, there's more to this behavior than a naughty child or a bad child and just putting that child in a corner or disciplining them. And also they've realized that because it wasn't identified quickly, or they didn't have, a term or whatever for it, a diagnosis for it. What tends to happen is we now have lots of adults who have suffered over the years with that because nobody diagnosed it. It was just, can you not sit still? Can you not, why are you at work and you can't concentrate? Maybe you're not meeting deadlines, you're struggling. And I have to mention that has got nothing to do with somebody being very smart or being not smart at all, not being able to do their work. That's got nothing to do with that, because sometimes people feel when people are struggling with their work or children are jumping up and down, that means that, they are not good enough. That's not what it is.
So can someone have attention issues but not be hyperactive?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I think I forgot to say that. You can have both or you can have one. And I think the one that is very, very common is either, the hyper bit, because you find the person jumping all the time. So you can have somebody who, just in quotes, will be very calm, but struggling with the attention, struggling with focusing. But the thing about ADHD is a person who has ADHD would have a place where when they are doing something that is of interest to them, they can focus 100% or give it 1,000% concentration because they have interest in it. Whereas, so you can see somebody who will be in class, or maybe let's just say, Jude, sorry, I'm stereotyping you now.
That's okay. That's okay.
So let's say when you come and you're doing your program or you're doing your broadcasting, going out, interviewing people, you're excellent. But maybe with other things, it'll be a struggle, or you can't sit still with maybe in a meeting or what you're thinking, why am I here for? What am I doing here? This is a waste of time. So that makes you very irritable, maybe holding your pen, putting it on the table. I'm not saying that's what you're doing because you haven't been diagnosed. I'm just giving an example and using you, Jude. But we tend to see that a lot. For the everyday person, I'm picking on my Jude. But for people with ADHD, when they find something they are very interested in, they focus and they're able to do it. For everyday person who hasn't got ADHD, even if they are not interested, because society expects them to do it. So let's say I know that I have to pay my bills, so I'll go to work. I know that I have to take my children to school, so I'll do that. I know that I have to do this. Even though maybe the person is not interested in, they'll have to do it. And we have the capacity to do it. For somebody with ADHD, they struggle. Why do I have to do it? It's like the brain is telling them, why do I have to do it? I'm not interested. I don't want this. As if they're being, it's like we're imposing, our environment is imposing it on them that they have to do it. So that's the difference, that they can't cope if it's not something that they are passionate about. But somebody else, but anyway, I'm sure you come to that, but with treatment and support and that, they'll be able to deal with that side of behavioral or environmental factors affecting them.
Interesting. Doc, I wanted to ask you about some stereotypes associated with, this conversation. And, more often we are told that, especially among children, it's an issue about the lack of discipline rather than biological. Are you able to distill what the facts are for us? Is it really an issue with regards to how the child is brought up, or it's biological? Mainly the nature debate around ADHD.
Yeah, you're very right, Jude. You are very right. It is society sees it, like I said before, the naughty child, that child who won't sit still, that child who is always causing problems. And some parents also struggle with that. Society struggles with that. But the truth is that, research or many research have really concluded, or should I say concluded? No, we don't conclude things, but have identified that it's actually genetic. So if a parent, it could be one parent or both parents, suffer from ADHD,
well, definitely my dad.
ADHD, there's a likelihood that a child would also have it. So it's biological more than the nature aspect of it, environmental factors of it. But society or the environment also influence the behavior and what is going on. So let's say if a child has it, and then the environment or the parents are aware, so they support them. Maybe they are in therapy. They've got a specialist, a mental health specialist who's done a comprehensive assessment and been able to say, okay, you benefit. I think we've talked about hypnotherapy a bit before. That's one therapy that can really help with that, because it helps with relaxation. It helps to reach the subconscious mind and help change it gradually. Psychotherapy is the same, counseling. So it's about having the assessment from a mental health professional and being able to tailor individually, because every child is different. Right. So the fact that somebody has got ADHD doesn't mean that every ADHD patient or client or person should have the same treatment. We need to tailor that towards the individual. So maybe somebody doesn't need medication and they'll function okay. Because ADHD comes with anxiety and depression, if the treatment is not provided or intervention is not provided, it highlights the anxiety and depression more because there is no intervention going on. So it's very important that, that assessment, if they did the assessment and they says, actually, there's nothing wrong with this child or whatever, that's a different thing. But I think that if you see the signs and that of this person struggling and you know yourself and you're thinking, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with my motivation, or I'm over motivated. I really love doing this. You see some children, it's like they're not very good with academic work, but take them to a different environment and give them pieces of whatever to put together, and they can put together whatever, or they play very well, or video games and that. And you ask why? Maybe there's a part of their brain that is stimulated by such activities, and they get bored with academic work. So it's about, what can I do to stimulate this child? Let me go see a psychologist. Let me see a hypnotherapist. Let me see whoever you see a therapist, and also you see a doctor, a mental health, to do the assessment, because we have an assessment that we go through, a criteria to look at all the areas. Can this person do A, B, C, and all that. So once the assessment is completed and they say, actually, it's clear, or we can see symptoms of, then you know what to work with. And I think some of the things that we or parents or society, schools can do for such children is to be able to work with the child one-on-one, understand them, and not look at, let's say, a class of 20 or 30, not treat all of them. I know sometimes teachers are overwhelmed, but that teacher needs to work with the home to put, like a plan or package in place, because they may not work at the same pace as everybody. As soon as they finish their work, they are bored. Or the teacher talks so much, they are bored. The teacher doesn't talk much, they are bored. So it's about what works for this child. I know it sounds a bit selfish that why do I have to focus on this child? But then that one child can disrupt the whole class if they get into, if they are struggling. And it's the same with the home as well. That one child can take the whole attention of the home if that is not identified and supported. And you have to remember that we see that maybe, excuse my language, the child is a nuisance or troubled child or whatever, but they're also struggling.
Yeah.
Because within themselves, they don't want to hear that they are different. They don't want to feel isolated. They don't want society to see that they're a burden or think they're a burden. So that child also needs support, and it's about being able to put that support in place for them. And then also educating whoever, whether teachers, parents, wherever they are, to have that in place for them.
Dr. Annie, what key symptoms are we looking out for? And could these symptoms be caused by maybe lack of sleep, anxiety, etc.?
Everything you're saying. People with ADHD struggle with sleep. Most of them, I wouldn't say all of them, because, as I mentioned before, individual differences.
Yeah.
But they struggle with attentiveness as well. So difficulty. So let's talk about adults, for instance. In terms of work, maybe a meeting that should go on for 2 hours or an hour go on for 2.5 hours. They struggle with that. That can we just get to the agenda and just finish this? Also, motivation in terms of things that they are not interested in. So they like to be able to do things that they enjoy or go into professions and careers that they enjoy. But if they are pushed into or promoted or demoted or put in an area where doesn't stimulate them, they struggle with that. Also, sometimes they struggle with relationships. So people with ADHD, you see that maybe their friendships are not great, or they are like marriages or work relationships and that. But when they identify those people that they can trust, those people who understand them, and sometimes people will say, why do you tolerate this person all the time? Because there is a click. That person who understands them, work well with them. So it could be a colleague. You say, why do you always get on with this person? Because subconsciously, they click with that person who understand them better. So then the hyperactivity, you don't see that much actually in adults. Normally is more in children, because with our adults, they can understand the difference between danger and a place that is safe.
Right.
So instead of a child will run around in the classroom or barge in when a teacher is talking, answer questions or whatever. Adults do that in meetings, like somebody is talking and maybe a speaker or whatever, they can just barge in and whatever, because they think either I know the answer or, you're talking too much. They do that. But when they get to the adult state, they're more in control. So the struggle and everything is internal, because they are not able to exhibit it like a child will scream or run around and throw toys and all of that. So all of these that you're talking about, and impulsivity, acting out when not expected. Not thinking things through properly and just saying, it's like, oh, I speak my mind. Oh, as for this person, he just says it as it is. And it's just like, okay, but sometimes you need to pause, because that can get you or someone else into trouble, or you can miss a business deal because you didn't think this through.
Yeah. Doc, I want you to help me clarify this, right? Because listening to you carefully, you mentioned really that some of the comorbidities could include anxiety, depression, later Eno talk about even learning disabilities, right? But we're also told that persons, with ADHD, tend to be very creative and very smart in what they do. So how is somebody with learning disability, in one breath, all of a sudden, of a sort, become, this really creative genius? How does it happen? What's the biological processes involved, if any?
Yeah. I think that I wouldn't solely say, and then I speak from our manual called the DSM, Diagnostic Manual 5. I wouldn't say 100% that it's a learning disability. And also whatever it is, falls under mental health, physical health, all of that. But what it is that's why I mentioned the thing about when they find a passion. So whatever that they're interested in, or whatever that the environment that they find in, if they feel stimulated or they are supported. Let's say if I have a client or a therapist has got a client, and as they're talking, they identify, or parent identifies that, oh, my son is very good at public speaking. When you put him on a platform, or when you give him a microphone or whatever, you sit him in a studio on the radio, he is so good. But give him another job and he gets bored. So the creativity, so you see that their program will be different from another person. They stand out, they speak up as a public speaker, they do. So whatever they do, they are brilliant and excellent at it. But when the passion is not there, when they are not motivated to do it, that's when it feels like, so you can't say that somebody with ADHD. I know somebody. I know a client ages ago who had ADHD, who has ADHD because you live with it, but she could just sing, compose, write music, and give it to like big stars to actually sing. So she was a writer. She could compose. She was good with instruments and all of that. But then other aspects of this person's life was very chaotic, and then there are other people who do so many. So once they are able to be grounded, allow me to use that loose word, once they are able to be supported and have, like I said, a treatment plan, even if it's not a treatment plan, but a plan in place that they say that, okay, I've got a structure, because somebody with ADHD needs a structure, a plan for their day, for their week, for their month, and maybe whatever, a year that, okay, this year I want to achieve this, but this is how I'm going to do it. And then they have a plan for that. It reduces that level of chaos or dysfunctional behaviors and all of that. So I wouldn't say that somebody with ADHD is not creative. They are very creative. But it's about finding that and getting the support and being in that environment. So if somebody is watching or listening, it's about making sure that the people you surround yourself with understand you, know you, and support you. That is what is important. And also are able to say to you, I think this behavior is not right. Next time, can you, so they need that support to be able to do it. I hope I've answered your question.
You have. Another question, and Eno coming with us. I know she has a lot. For me, it's a learning curve, right? I won't say more to it, but it's a learning curve. And I'm so grateful that you're helping us through this. The diagnosis of it, right? Is it clinical, or there are other self-help or non-clinical alternatives that can be used to help
when
a
you
person?
Say clinical, because what we do is we've got a diagnostic tool.
Okay.
So maybe it could be a form or online or whatever. But when you get to the clinician, working in the UK, we make sure that it's a mental health practitioner that does that. So even if you go to your general practitioner, your GP, and then you talk to them and that, they won't do that. Maybe they would just say, I think I can see from ABC, following the pattern that I've seen or what you present all the time. But then they would refer you to a specialist, a mental health psychologist, psychiatrist, somebody like that. And there's a diagnostic scale that we use to actually measure whether this person has got that. And also when they, after completing all of this, they take into consideration your medical history, your psychological history, your everyday life. So all these things come into play to see, because it's got to be, we have to see a pattern. It's not just yesterday, I couldn't concentrate, or last week I couldn't concentrate, or no, it's a pattern. So let's say you are about 30 years or 40 or 50. Questions could be asked as far back as when you were young. Did you do this, or were you doing this, or did you struggle with this? So all these questions will help to put together, because you don't want to be misdiagnosed just because sometimes a situation, a scenario, or something an event in your life can alter people's behaviors and alter how people do things. So the last thing a therapist or a specialist would want to do is to just say that just because you've presented with these, in my consulting room or whatever, means that you've got ADHD. So everything is put together. I remember there was a time, a lady, they had to go as far back as calling their parents, to asking parents questions about their childhood and all of that, just to put the pieces to the whole puzzle together before a diagnosis is made. And if the person requires medication because they're really struggling with their mental health in terms of anxiety and depression, because they had left it for so long that they were having issues. And they realized that in order to do anything about it, they needed treatment. So sometimes it's, treatment with anxiety, medication and that. And then you also have the alternative therapies or the counseling.
Doc, you've touched on treatment, and that was my question to you. What treatment options are available, and how soon do you start seeing improvement after starting treatment?
Right. Again, as you know, my favorite word is individual differences. And medication obviously would also vary according to the person, according to the specialist and what they use, and the diagnosis and that. So if there's depression, obviously there's the antidepressants and the anti-anxiety medications and that you'll be put on. There's also depression for ADHD. Then the psychiatrist or whatever will also refer you to the talking therapist. Like, I've referred you to see a psychologist or to see a counselor, or maybe to do the creative arts as well. So maybe by being busy, by maybe going into creative arts like drawing or other activities like walking, anything that stimulates the person. So it's a whole package. It's a treatment plan. So it's like a care plan. So within the plan, we have the medics doing their bits, the medical doctors and that, the specialists doing their bits. Then you've got the talking therapy, maybe the psychologist or whatever, the hypnotherapist, all the other bits. Then maybe drama therapy. It could be that somebody loves, I know somebody who is very, very quiet, but when they are in drama, how they perform in drama and in their everyday life, totally different. You put them out, they're totally different, but in the drama, they're able to be themselves. And it helps. So it's about, the whole, so treatment shouldn't just be about medication. If medication works for someone, that's fine. Some people, it could be just the counseling and the psychotherapies and all of that. That's also fine. But there are most people, a combination is wonderful. It really works well. And it gets to a point where maybe they might not even need medication.
Will lifestyle changes help in any way?
Definitely. As I said, surrounding oneself with the right people. Also, obviously, we all know about there are foods that helps elevate like depression and low mood. And also we know about sugars and that they make people feel more hyper. So if you know that you have ADHD, there are certain foods that's why it's good. Even let me also throw in a dietitian or your specialist would tell you certain things that don't eat this, eat that. It helps. Like greens help with green foods and that helps with elevating depression because it boosts our serotonin levels. And serotonin is the happy brain. And dopamine is the reward chemicals in the brain. So some of our lifestyles, what we do, how we do, what we do every day. If you feel that your work stresses you or puts you in a position where it makes your ADHD worse, you have to start asking yourself, is this the right place for me? If the environment where you are, it's interesting. Last week I was talking to somebody and I said, back in Ghana, it's interesting how much a society, or should I say traditions and culture influence us that even if, I'm not saying anybody should go and divorce their parents, but even if our parents are the cause of our struggles, we still feel that we have to be in their midst.
Yeah.
Even if our siblings are the ones that are causing, somebody will just pick up a phone, talk to their parents, and they'll have the worst week of their lives. But they'll pick up a phone and call them again. I'm not saying don't do it, but if you have to cut the conversation or have other means of communicating, even though the people are close, you don't let anybody live. I like that phrase so much. Don't let anybody live in your mind rent free. Why are you allowing somebody to cause you so much pain? So that lifestyle thing you're talking about, it's about looking at who are the positive people in my life. Am I in the right job? I know you need the money so much, but whilst you're there, start looking elsewhere because that place is not giving you that mental well-being that you very much deserve.
I like that. Doc, are there any side effects with ADHD medications that we know of?
You and I know that every treatment has got its side effect. Once you pop in the pill, there's a side effect. But I think that you work with your medic to, like your doctor to look at the best for you. And also sometimes, there are side effects. You look at the boxes and you see about 1,000 side effects there, but it doesn't affect everybody. And also, it's also about outweighing which one is best, the little side effects I have or the medication that makes me comfortable, makes me function, makes me, So sometimes we dwell on, oh my God, if I take this medication, I'll have to take it for life or whatever. So if you take it for life and it helps you, why not? If the side effects are crazy, go back to your doctor. There is always another medication that would agree with you. We all don't have the same. Sometimes we have allergies, so that medication won't agree, but another medication would agree. So it's again individual.
Amazing. Doc, thank you so much for helping us through this really important conversation. But just before we wrap it up, I would want you to just, you talk about the health bit of this conversation, right? And there are some messages I'm getting around how physical activity can help in this. You talk about what we could eat, how we could just keep ourselves, strong. But is there a role physical activity plays, particularly in the area around the attention deficit part of this conversation?
Right. If I heard you right, sorry, your voice went a little bit low. Physical activities, yes, walking. Walking is very good. Dancing is very good. I like dancing. It doesn't have to be you don't have to listen any upbeat music. One day we have to talk about dancing and well-being. Anyway, but dancing is one of the best things. Even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, you release happy hormones and it's great. And also for somebody with ADHD, by doing something physical, it brings down the jumpiness and not being able to focus and, that sort of thing. So by the time you finish, you're exhausted. So long walk. And if, let's say, you have a pet like a dog, they're beautiful. Take them for a long walk. Then another animal that is very good as well is horses. They're very good. You can talk to them. And that's another thing I forgot to say. Talking to oneself in terms of having ADHD helps to calm one down. So if you have ADHD, yes, you talk to yourself. I'm not saying walk around so people will end up taking to a psychiatric hospital. But, the little whisper to yourself, or if you've got your animal, your dog or like I said, I love horses, stroking the horse, talking to them and that. And they are very friendly. And the way they look at you, you feel great. You feel wonderful. So, going for a walk, swimming, I forgot that. That's another brilliant one as well. Hydrotherapy, anything that involves moving the body. So should we say movement, body movement? Anything to do with movement is very, very good.
I'm struggling to phrase, I'm struggling to properly, frame this question, right? But help me address it anyway. What's the role of faith, right, in the diagnosis and even treatment of persons suffering from ADHD? We know.
Did you say faith?
Faith, absolutely. Religion, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's. My point
especially
really is
in our
that
culture.
Based on what you know about our culture and how much of a value is placed on issues around faith, where does it come up? Does it even come up at all? Is it a part of the treatment process? Where does it show its head in all of this conversation we're having?
I always say that work with whatever you've got. So if somebody, let's say, is religious, let's say a Christian, I'm a Christian, so I'll use that. If I'm a Christian, your faith helps you to believe that there is hope. And hope is beautiful. Hope makes you go out there. The fact that I'm a Christian doesn't mean I shouldn't go and see a specialist. But my belief that by seeing a specialist, things will get better for me. Things would improve for me. So if you have faith, it's a beautiful thing. It gives you the hope that I can go out and, have a good walk and feel better. I can go to church today and the message or the music, the worship music would just stimulate me so much. I will dance. I'll have a wonderful time. I'll come home and my day is going to be good or my week is going to be good. So if faith is what you've got, use that faith. My thing is don't base it on, I'm sorry, I'm not a religious leader, so please, I don't want anyone to condemn me. But don't go about making it into witchcraft or anything. But I've got this diagnosis. I'm praying to God. I believe that, I'll be okay. I can function. I can function like everyone else. I can go out and do whatever I have to do. I can do my walks. I can see my specialist. Sometimes, what, Jude, I'm glad you said this. So allow me to say this. Sometimes, especially as Christians and that, we think that when we're ill or we have an issue, we don't have to see specialists. You pray, and also you have to remember that these specialists, like I said, I'm a Christian myself. These specialists were created by God. And whatever religion you believe in, were created by the person or the being that you believe in. And because of that, these people who are specialists also are human beings created to be in that position. So if you're ill, please go out and see them and talk to them. And God or your whatever you believe in will support you to get the treatment that you need. But don't sit back and say just because you have faith or because you go to church and you're praying, you won't do anything about it. Do what you have to do to get better. Because these specialists and that maybe they also worship God. Or so please, I mean faith is excellent, is brilliant. And also remember one thing about having a faith or belonging to a Christian or any religion is that You have people around you. And a human being, a person is not living in isolation. It's not an island. You need people. And that being able to go to church, seeing people saying hello in the morning, like a Sunday morning like this and that, is therapeutic.
Yeah.
So that alone, it's a beautiful thing and it's a healing thing for the human being and the human body.
Dr. Annie Gazy, thank you so much for your time, this morning. We are so grateful that you could spare some time taking us through this really important conversation. I'm sure our viewers are richer for it, for the insights and intellect, right? And really practical, examples you've shared with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Eno. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Enjoy yours too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. So that's all time will allow us for our conversation on, attention deficit and hyperactive disorder, HDD, call it for short. If you missed any part of the conversation, it will be up on our YouTube account, Channel One TV. Go there, subscribe to the page, watch the video, share it, like, comment, engage, and let someone else see it. So, it can help with some of the, the conversations that we're having. But now we'll shift focus to a community called Lala. When I heard the name, I thought it was a girl community, but it's not. It's actually in the Western North region, right? Where, in the Bono region, I beg your pardon, where students there are facing difficulties with regards to some issues around education facilities and the classroom where they have to study. Their parents are not happy. Our correspondent, Michael Saponinfum, was there and filed the following report.
Lala Island, located in the Sine East district of the Bono East region, is made up of 6 communities: Lala, Tomefa, Ogeche, Wulikope, Zaikope, and Mojedro, and has a population of nearly 2,000. Parents on this island community are increasingly concerned about the inadequate classroom infrastructure, which they say is negatively impacting their children's education. The only primary school in the community at Lala has just 3 classrooms. Due to this limited space, teachers are forced to combine classes, making effective teaching and learning a challenge. Parents say they have no choice but to keep their children in the community school, as it is not safe for the children to cross the Volta Lake daily to attend schools in Kejiji, the district capital, or Kitikrachi, located in the Oti region. To address the situation, a 3-unit classroom block was initiated about 8 years ago by the area's Member of Parliament, Dominic Napari. However, the project has since been abandoned and remains incomplete. The structure has been taken over by WIS. In a show of determination, the community has, through self-help, constructed a structure to serve as a junior high school. The assembly member for the Lala Island electoral area, Matthew Ackley, has been vocal about the community's challenges and continues to advocate for more support.
After changing the syllabus, we realized that things that teachers are supposed to teach, let's say class 1, what they are supposed to teach the class 1, they teach those things in class 2. It's a combined class. We have combined the 2 classes. Class 1 and 2 are combined in one class. 3 and 4 are in one class, and 5 and 6 are also in the same class. We think that with this abandoned project, if the government in a way can help or build a new one and have a full class, which everybody will have independent class, that will help the children.
Some inhabitants of Lala Island also have this to say on the inadequate classrooms in their community.
There's a from my fancy as watching boko edan nenkola hankola mom pressure. I just have on so bomb wanted the so no dan kwana e my
me focus in say dina ajajamu sra honorable MP say adwuma na wa ye e dia si ajajamu e wa Lala community no me sra ne say wo me finish adwuma no e maye
school ni de enkoye ye ni teachers for afa dan mu ube ko class back mana e be P1 P2 omunya mu class back school de ye pesa ba be boy enkoye kra.
The Member of Parliament for Sine East, Dominic Napari, has this to say on the abandoned 3-unit classroom block he started about 8 years ago.
The Get Farm funding ceased coming. We have followed up several times for them to come and continue. Not only this one, a lot of about almost 15 Get Farm projects which have installed since the past 8 years. And so when this new government came, I rushed to the Get Farm coordinator, compiled all that to him to follow up. Unfortunately for me, this government says that they are going to complete all uncompleted projects before they initiate new ones, which this project is also part of it.
Michael, thank you so much for your time and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Thank you very much.
I trust you're doing well.
Oh, by the grace of God, I'm doing very well.
Interesting. Yeah. Except that some children in the Bono region are not too excited with the state of their educational facilities. How much of a problem is this? And can you just rehash the communities that are, particularly affected by the issues you raised in the report?
Yeah, thank you very much. This community, Lala Island, is located in the Bono East region, specifically under the Sini East district with TGD as a district capital. In the report, as was aired a while ago, the community is an island with over 6 communities, namely the Lala itself. We have another community called Tomefa. We have Ogeche, Wulikope, Zaikope, and Mojadro. So these are the 6 communities on this Lala Island. And Lala is the biggest community on this island. So all the children from the 5 other communities, this is where they come to school. And as you can see in this visual, classroom is a major headache in the community because on this whole island, the only community primary school has only 3 classrooms. So teachers have no option than to combine the classes. So for one class, we have class 1 and 2, or basic 1 and 2. Another class, we have 3 and 4. Another class, 5 and 6. Because if they don't do that, it means that the other students will also be lacking. So what they do is that maybe today you teach, the next day the other teacher will teach, and they have to shift it like that. And it's not the best because the children have different levels. If someone is in basic 1, you can compare that child to that person, another child in basic 2. So this is a major problem. But if they don't do it that way, it means that the children will be lacking. So they have to combine the classes. So at least, despite the challenge that they have there, the teachers are innovative enough to put in these structures so that at least the children on this island will not lack. So that's the situation there. The member of parliament for the area, he's Dominic Napari. Seeing the situation, initiated a 3-unit classroom block about 8 to 9 years ago that at least helped reduce this challenge. But along the line, the project halted. And as you see the visual, it has been taken over by the week. I spoke to him when I was lucky to be on the island. He attributed the halting of the project to a lack of funds coming from Get Fund. That has contributed to that. He tells me that the new government on board, he has listed. He tells me it's not only this school, but the other projects within the Sini East constituency, who is also a district, that they also abandoned a project within the area that he has listed and submitted to the Get Fund.
Interesting.
And they will come on board to at least support the community. It's very serious. And community, they've also even done well some of the children are in junior high school, and the community came together to put up another structure to support DHS 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
So that's the situation on Lala Island, located in the Bunu East region.
Interesting. Michael, we are being told also that, aside the issue around the lack of classrooms, we are told that the dropout rate in the school is actually very high because we have quite a number of the children who often have to walk long distances to school. We are told that there are issues around some of them having to go to help their parents with their farms and other things before coming to school. Can you create a picture with regards to other challenges, students in the area or pupils in the area have to face with regards to accessing quality education?
Yes, Jude, you are right. As I said in the intro, the other communities on this island, we have, as I said, the Lala itself, Tomefa, Ogeche, Munikope, Zaikope, Mojedo. So children within these communities have to walk down to Lala to attend school. And they walk to Lala to look at the situation. Classrooms congested, as you can see in the visuals, and combining basic 1 and 2, basic 3 and 4, 5 and 6. It's not encouraged. And they have to walk this distance, and you come and the classrooms are congested. Even the teachers have done very well, being innovative enough that we can't allow these students, the few who are willing to come, we can't, excuse me my words, we can't allow their lives to go waste. So what must we do? They'll be innovative enough to combine them. And when they come to school to look at the situation, classrooms are inadequate. And the only other option left is either they will allow them to cross to KJG, which is the district capital for Senate East District in the Blue East region. That's one option. It means that daily you have to cross the voter list. Daily, that's another option. They have to cross the voter list to KJG to attend school. Or another option left is for them to cross to Kitikrati. Behind the MP, when the MP was talking, you could see a community behind. That's Kitikrati in the OT region. That's also another option left. And that one, they have to cross the voter list to Kitikrati in the OT region to attend school. So looking at these dangers crossing the voter list daily, the only option left for the parents is to allow the children to attend school in the community. And some people, they have to walk long distances, and when they come to school, the environment is not conducive, though the teachers are doing extremely very well on this island within the Bunu East region. So these are some of the challenges parents and the pupils on this island community are going through.
Michael, with the just ended BEC, where did the students write it? The students from Lala Land?
I'm told it is also in KJG, the district capital.
And so
they came to lodge there for the days of the examination.
Okay.
So after the exams are over, they go back to the island community.
Right. Let's talk about movement from Lala Land. They're using canoes, I assume, and do they have life jackets?
That is also another challenge. There are few of the boat operators who have life jackets, or just who do not have. And even, if you know the Ghanaian attitude, there are at times, some of the boats that I saw, there are life jackets in them, passengers will not wear. They think they live along the lake and they are okay.
Okay.
Unlike myself, you maybe, I don't know if maybe you can swim, but some of the boats, there were life jackets in them, the passengers would not wear. Few of them were wearing. Others were also not having the life jacket. So, just a mixture of so many things together. Some of the boat operators I saw them with life jackets, others were not having. And those with the life jackets on board, some of the passengers were not wearing. When you inquire why are they not wearing, they say, oh, they are okay. You know, the Ghanaian attitude. which is not the best. But immediately there's life may be lost.
Yeah.
Then there's maybe some of them feel they live around the lake, they can swim here and there. So the life jacket is not something that they find worrying. So some of the boat operators don't have, others have, and those that have provided some of the passengers who board from the KJG side to this Lala Island, some of them do not wear at all, as you can see in the video.
Right. Michael, you mentioned Get Fund and the fact that the 3 classroom block structure has stalled because of lack of funding from them. I don't know if you've made attempts to get in touch with Get Fund, and what have they been saying?
I've not been able to get in touch with Get Fund. As I said, I spoke to the Member of Parliament for the area. He initiated the project. It was being funded by Get Fund. And according to him, the support stopped coming. That has resulted in the abandoning of the 3-unit classroom block. We have gone a long way to help the community. Because when the 3 classroom block is completed, that combination will not be there. Each class will get its class. Class 1 will not combine with class 2. Class 3 will not combine with class 3, and class 4 will not be combined with class 6. To have their own class. But with this situation, there's no option than just combining them so that at least they will not lose out.
What about teaching staff?
That's another
yeah.
The teachers are also few. Because it's an island community, no one is willing to go there. But the few dedicated teachers are on the island helping. There's no electricity on the island, you can imagine.
Wow.
That's serious.
They have to depend on few solar projects on the island. That's why government has initiated a solar project that is going to be constructed on this particular island that will serve that 6 other communities on the island. So teachers there mostly depend on few solar installations on the island to even charge their phones, be able to connect back home. So that's a challenge, and the teachers are doing very well. I must commend them. Sacrificing to live on the island, it's not easy.
Wow. Michael Sapon-Mfum, thank you so much for the work you are doing in the region and for highlighting this really important conversation. We are so grateful for your time.
Thank you very much, Jude.
Thank you. For me, it's how very quickly ballot boxes, very cliche, but it's the truth. It's how very quickly ballot boxes and other election materials can reach the islands, right? But for years, they don't have electricity. And for some reason, it sits well with us as a people. I think, society or posterity, rather, will judge us unfairly if we don't lend a voice to some of these things. And again, it highlights the vulnerabilities within the educational sector. On this show, we've had cause to complain that if you take basic education, right, in some of these rural areas, the attrition rate is too high.
Yeah.
And it's high because government over the years, free SHS is big.
Yeah.
We need to get quality education as well. But government over the years has been deliberate in, the budget for free SHS has been so high, much to the neglect of other sectors of the education, value chain. So basic education is struggling, preschool education is struggling, even tertiary is struggling. All the focus was on
free
SHS, right, or college education. And for me, that's a major issue.
Yeah.
Now, students are studying.
Your formative years are very important.
Exactly, and this is like the make or break stage. Exactly, your formative years. Now, students are studying under these circumstances. They don't have electricity.
So they don't have the same BC.
Exactly,
as
they don't have electricity too, but they have to study
school.
IT, information technology, as a course. Even if you have the computer in the classroom,
there's no electricity to power it.
Thank you. And they are going to write an ICT paper.
Yeah.
They don't have. Look at the condition, the state of the classroom. So for me, if you have a government saying that they are going to build markets, modern markets, right? When nobody has come to complain that
it's a misplaced priority.
Thank you. You know, so government needs to do better, right? We don't have a problem if you build markets, but where does your priority lie? Are you saying that the markets that, if you say you are going to even clean the market, that's a different thing, but construct new markets because of 24-hour economy, which you are not really even clear about 6 months into this government. I think we should realign the priorities.
Yeah.
And students shouldn't be learning under these conditions in 2025.
It's like you're setting them up. They haven't even started running, and then you've already set them up to fail because they're going to come and compete
if you are
the same BC.
If you are schooling there,
people in
DPS, you know DPS. You know,
I beg you.
You don't want to go there.
Please, I'm sitting in my corner.
I saw DPS prom pictures. I'm like, yo, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not digress. My point really is that the attrition rate, the data speaks for itself. Out of every 10 children in rural Ghana, only 3 go on to the next stage on the academic, ladder. And for me, that's problematic. In Accra, it's 7. In rural areas, particularly in the north, only 3. Out of every 10 students you pick, only 3 will go to
very sad
onto tertiary, right? Or very sad. 3 from basic will go to SHS. Then and for me, that can't be the norm, right? So I don't know who to channel my frustration to, but clearly, Haruna Idrisu, Minister of Education, I'm sure she should be paying very keen attention to this. Of course, the local assemblies, how can a whole community with human beings there, 2025, they don't have electricity, and for some reason everybody's normal.
Okay, business as usual.
We need to do better. Can you imagine what even stable electricity would have done to the fisher folk over there if we had procured some machines for them to help them in their fishing business, in their livestock business, in their farming business? So I think we should be more inclusive, right, in the way this country is being run. And for far too long, we've neglected people. Of course, 6 months into a new government is to an extent, it's unrealistic, asking for everything to be done. But at least we should see the signs, right? And the signs involve not telling us you're going to construct markets when classrooms are overcrowded, teachers don't have electricity to prepare lesson notes. I think that's a misplaced priority, and government needs to do better. I know you have very strong thoughts on these as well. You love education, you love children, but
yeah, I don't know what to say because I don't know what we haven't said before and what can change. Yeah, how many times have we not spoken about education and how we're setting people up to fail because they're supposed to write same exam as everybody else. In the just ended BEC, they didn't say that students from Lala Island, don't have electricity, so they won't do ICT, or they don't have light to study, so they won't do or they didn't study math to a certain level, so their questions are different. They're all writing the same paper, and we all expect them to get, a standard grade to be able to continue to SHS, etc. We're setting them up to fail, and this can't be the norm.
See, no offense, right, but if you have to grow up under these circumstances, of course, there's providence and there's grace. There's room for resilience and the test of character.
Yeah.
People have, gone through worse and still made it in life. But at least it should be an equal level,
playing field.
And another point is that if you are there, life is leading you 2-0 already. So you have to now struggle and, balance the act. But for me, I think we should do better. We should really, really do better. I don't want to grow up one day as an old grandpa and Charlie, my grandchildren will be looking at me and say, Charlie, so grandpa, you're on TV. Charlie, you're picky, yes. Charlie, you couldn't say anything to government to, like Charlie.
To make change in certain areas in Ghana. But
Bernard has this thing, is that if you don't even take care, they'll curse us. Our grandchildren, future generation will curse us. So I think that there's a lot we can do, right? This government has shown a lot of commitment. Kofi Asare, I think we should have even put him on this call to listen to what he had, because he runs Africa Education Watch. They toured the country, they've done extensive research on education reforms. I've not seen the report, but hopefully it talks about eradicating trees under schools. Hey, schools under trees, I beg your pardon, right? So let's go back to the report. Let's make it public. Let's start talking about it. Let's look for funding sources, right?
Yeah.
Government can't fund everything. Let's be innovative. Let's think outside the box. Let's see ways we can, bring money, from whichever means to fund quality, equitable access to education. And we'll be better off as a people, right? Because if you have a very literate population, the research shows that a very literate population, there's a direct correlation between the development of a country and the literacy rate of the country. Japan is a perfect example. Singapore is a good example. Let's follow those lines, and I think we'll be better off as a people. I think so.
We are pondering.
Yeah.
Director,
We're in a
sober mood. We're in a sober mood. We are sad that several times we have complained.
I need something to cool my heart.
Ish.
I need to,
I need to the agri fair.
Yo, Ray, you no go job. You look unhappy and seem to be in pain.
I have this long-standing well at my anus and it keeps coming and going. I feel sick and so uncomfortable, bro.
Have you taken into consideration going to the hospital?
I've been to several hospitals and they keep telling me the same thing. They said it's anal fistula. I have to undergo a surgery. I'm scared I might not be able to hold my stool if I do this surgery.
Wait, have you considered seeing a proctologist?
Which one is that? But do we have proctologists in Ghana here?
Bro, we have a lot of them. They are being trained every time.
Where can I?
An anal fistula is an abnormal tract which connects the inner part of the anus to the skin around the anus. As long as this tract persists, there will be a recurring boil around the anus. A proctologist is the one credited with excellent outcomes of surgery of anal fistula. Laser and ligature anal fistula surgeries are the modern methods with very low recurrent rates.
Visit Muntaba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Muntaba Hospital, First Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
So much love in the air. What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for joining us on this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on a roll.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead. The megastar is here. Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
Asilwela ukunqoba kuphela. Kepha silwela ukwakha isizwe esinohlonze.
Sekunjalo.
On the Upside Down Show this week, we present to you the bold, vibrant, and brilliant Anita Esking. Expect nothing short of real talk, raw truths, and revelations. We always need that one opportunity to sprout, and she, like any other, isn't an exception. Ghana made me, she said.
My career started here.
Here in Ghana.
Right? Ghana is my foundation. 150%.
Great.
Home is what built me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ghana is what built me. If you see Anita and who Anita is today, it's because Ghana built me. Yeah, 100%.
To the land.
You know?
Right.
So love you, Canada, but Ghana built me.
And even though she's perceived as a superwoman, she's had to make tough decisions at some point.
I had to take 2 steps back away from my career. And also, and this is what I share with a lot of my friends and my colleagues now, is a wonderful appreciation that in different phases of your life, you are a particular person.
Right.
You don't have to be the same person you were before that.
Exactly.
You have nobody to please.
So, set your reminder and join us at 7 p.m. this Sunday, only on Channel 1 TV.
This June, the Business Wave is back and it's bigger than ever. The City Business Festival 2025 on City FM and Channel 1 TV, where it's all about business. This June, we will be celebrating Ghanaian businesses, re-examining our business modules and practices through our business forum, and sharing knowledge through our on-air business discussions. Make a business date with the on-air series every weekday at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show on 97.3 City FM and 10 a.m. on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. From expert interviews to real-world insights to the tools you need to grow. Don't miss a single moment this June. It's the City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business. Only on City FM and Channel 1 TV. Your business, your future, your time is now. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and let's grow together. The City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business.
The City Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 City FM and Channel 1 TV, and it's proudly sponsored by Absa Bank, MTN Business, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited.
Welcome. It's Play to 8.
Get ready for the game show where every play has a purpose. Welcome to Play to 8, the only game show where your knowledge and skill don't just win you prizes, they help change lives.
What sport is considered the most popular in the world?
Football. Every point you earn goes toward real-world support, from school supplies to health kits, clean water to emergency relief. Play smart, play big, play to 8. Catch all the action, the drama, and the heat.
Most commonly spoken language in Brazil.
Portuguese. Play to 8 every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Edna, let's begin.
The Play to 8 game show is proudly sponsored by Tang Palace, Giraffe Island, and VVIP.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and things of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we are there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all gone, all yours.
You're welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV with me, Eno Safo, and Jude Mensah Duncan. We are going into our nutrition segment, and we're still talking about the appropriate time to introduce your baby or your toddler to certain foods. And joining us is our dietitian extraordinaire. We like to call her on the show, we call her here as Enna. Enna, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm very
this
good.
Sunday morning. So today we're talking about what kinds of foods toddlers can consume, and we're concentrating on Tom Brown.
Yeah.
Me, I love Tom Brown. I love Tom Brown. But at what age or at what time is it appropriate to introduce Tom Brown to a child?
Okay, so from 7 months, between 7 and 8 months, after you have done the single foods, okay, the Tom Brown is a mix, so we also call it Winnie Miss.
Okay.
Okay, it's a mix of other cereals, grains, legumes, okay. So you can say if you have done well by introducing a couple, then you can start between 7 and 8. But most of the time, because it delays the time of introducing the individual foods might delay. Most people start around 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you know that there is rice in it. You have tried rice, you have tried maize, you have tried granuts and others, and baby is okay with it before you can mix
allergies,
it. Yes.
etc.
Yes.
And I'm seeing Tom Brown, but then I see what are the herons doing in the pictures that are really on the screen?
So you start with the grains, the granuts, the maize,
okay, the maize,
the rice, the millets. Wheat should be after 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. So baby under 1, I will carefully even say under 18 months, don't introduce wheat.
Why not?
Because wheat has a lot of fiber. Okay. Some children are also allergic to the wheat. It is not so tender on the digestive system. So there is a germ in it that contributes to the allergy. Okay, so you are careful not to introduce it even after 1 year. But every study shows that after 1 year, you are okay to introduce it. Okay. So below 1 year, no introduction of wheat, just as you are not supposed to introduce other stuff below 1 year. Yeah. So you asked of the Henrys.
Yes.
So the Tom Brown is supposed to be a male, okay, like a 1-pot male. So after the starchy carbohydrates that you are getting from the maize, the rice, the millets, you come to your fat and oil and protein. So fat and oil you are getting from the granuts. You are getting some from the soya, some protein from there as well. And if you need more protein, then you introduce the fish. Okay, so most of the time we are supposed to add a little bit, especially when you are not so sure. You can add milk. Okay, then you are supposed to add the fish. But I will reluctantly take out the fish when you have composed it well. So the rice, the maize, the millet should make 70% of your Tom Brown for a child. So I will hurriedly say our children below 5 are not supposed to eat the same Tom Brown with adults.
Okay.
Yes, because the composition is different. Some mothers will come and say they take 1 olonka of rice and take 1 olonka of granuts because they want it to be very dense. Yes, you can have the appropriate density with the appropriate ratio so that you don't burden the child's system. The good thing about this food is that it is fortified well for the baby to grow with all the nutrients you are getting from it. But too much fortification is also not good for the baby's young organs, okay? So you do the appropriate, use the appropriate ratio. So if I say 70 is to 30, if you are using olonka, which we all use on the market, when you are buying 1 olonka of maize, then you are buying 2 cups of granuts. Okay, if you want to use granite and soya beans, then you are using 1 olonka of maize with 1 cup of the nuts and 1 cup of the soya beans. Okay, so we are not going to buy 1 olonka of maize and then buy half olonka of nuts and half olonka of soya bean. That is too much for your child. Baby. Yes. So when we have done that, gotten the ratio right, then we can add, when you haven't added enough granuts, because granite will give you some amount of protein. Yeah. Soya bean will also give you some amount of protein. And adding the fish should always be by the recommendation of a healthcare practitioner, your dietitian, or probably your doctor. If your baby needs more protein, they will let you know. Otherwise, let's take out the fish. Okay? And then when you have added enough granuts, there is no need to stir in avocado when you are feeding, because the nuts will give the enough fat and oil. Okay, so adding avocado might be too much. You are going beyond the ratio, because the nutrients you are getting from the avocado, we are getting similar from the nuts as well. Some babies might also need extra calories, so your dietitian or your other healthcare professionals at the weigh-in section might ask you to add olive oil when you are feeding your baby porridge to give the baby more calories. Yes, when you are adding extra virgin olive oil to plain porridge, like the maize one, only maize or only rice, let's say morikoko or single rice porridge, that is okay. But when you have
adding
olive oil, they will ask you, based on the need of the child, you might use 1 teaspoon, 2, or even 1 tablespoon. Okay, so that is okay. But when you are adding it to Winnimus, unless again you haven't added enough granuts. Okay, sometimes also your healthcare practitioner might ask you to add granite paste, 1 tablespoon or half tablespoon, based on the age of the child. When you are adding that to an already fortified Winnie-Mess with granules. That is too much. So when you have had in appropriate composition of the Tom Brown, adding extra nutrients or adding extra food items or extra calories from either avocado or granite paste or olive oil should be guided, based on the composition of the Tom Brown.
I know that there are a lot of allergies, especially with nuts. So what should I be looking out for when you're introducing baby to all of these types of different foods?
Yes. So like we did earlier weeks ago, you only use Winnie-Mess with nuts when you have tried nuts with rice and your baby didn't react. So we do the 4 days interval. When you have tried nuts today, you give yourself 4 days to see how baby will react. After 4 days, if she doesn't, you try again, and she doesn't, then you are okay. Then you know baby is not allergic to the nuts, yes. And even the soya beans, some babies really have issues with gas. So using the soya beans, you have to soak it. Okay, doing it for adults, you just buy it and go ahead, wash and roast. But for babies, you have to soak it for some hours overnight. Then you air dry or you spread it on a sheet and it goes into the oven to dry and roast. Okay. Even same with maize. You have to soak it for about 2 days, not 3 days. 3 days is for the dough, but 2 days is okay, so that the maize will be tender on the baby's digestive system. Okay. But when we buy it and roast it straight, we don't even wash it. Baby is still young, so bringing dirt and stuff from the market, every food stuff we introduce to a child less than 5, we have to wash. Okay. So especially less than 1 or 2, we have to really wash so that we are sure of giving the baby safe food. So buying Winnie-Mess from outside, you should really trust the source, because the preparation, the washing of the maize and nuts before using is very important for the health of the child. Yeah.
And there's a question here for you, right, from a viewer, and the viewer wants to find out whether the use of moringa powder in Tom Brown is advised.
Yeah, so for a baby, I would say no. Okay. Children after 5, we will say yes.
Okay. How about adults?
That is why, yes, for adults, yes.
That's cool.
It is extra fortification.
But for babies, no.
For babies,
is there a reason why?
Especially when you haven't tried it alone.
Okay.
To see babies' reaction to it.
And Tom Brown, right? I look at the meal, and it's a very Ghanaian meal, right? Everything about it is so Ghanaian. And I'm wondering where you got his name from. Do you by any chance know who named this food Tom Brown?
I have no idea, but I think we have a way of doing our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want us to focus on the nutritional value, right? Because I quite remember from long ago, I'm not really sure who told me, but they said that it's really good as an immunity booster. Is it true or the person was lying to me?
No, it's immune booster. You can say yes in a way, because it is supposed to give you the nutrient to strengthen your immunity. Okay. I don't know what he means by booster, but eating healthy food is supposed to strengthen your immunity. Feeding a child can be very difficult. I mean, every mother has gone through it. Hardly do you get a child who craves for food, most of them you will struggle. So making sure that the little food he or she is eating is dense enough. If I say dense, it's enriched with lots of nutrients enough. It's very ideal for the growth of the child. You know, after 6 months, even right from birth, you want to monitor the weight of the child. If baby is not growing well, it's a burden. Okay, so after 6 months, when baby has to gain some amount of weight and they are rather loosened because now they are struggling to identify what they like, and some will be crying because they still want only breast milk. Some will reject, and with this period of rejection, they are losing weight. Okay, so when you have to fortify the porridge so that even 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons that they are taking is enriched with a lot of protein, it's very ideal for the growth of the child. That is why mothers try a lot to add lots of stuff to Winnie so that kakrebin puna will be there. It's okay. So some will go ahead and add tiger nuts. Tiger nuts is also very nutritious. Yeah. You see, but we are also careful not to give the child a lot of fiber. When you give the baby a lot of fiber, they have indigestion. Some will struggle with gas. So in your composition, check, are you giving too much fiber? Too much fiber will also let the baby stay satisfied for too long. So instead of feeding every 3 hours, baby might go for 5 hours not eating again because she's full. Wow. So having the right composition is very key.
Let's talk about the shelf life, right? Yeah. So for example, we are doing an agri fair. Yesterday I saw people sell all kind of like packaged, you know, Tom Brown powder is what they call it. Yeah. Is there a special way we keep the babies, right, as compared to what everybody else in the family eats? Maybe because of whatever reasons, right? Or you store it all the same. And at what point do you say if it's been exposed for maybe too long, it's not healthy to be served to babies?
Okay, so the shelf life is mostly a year and over when they have added salt. Okay.
Okay, so you need to find out from them.
Yes, but because we don't want to add salt to the baby's food, especially below 1 year, okay, we will do and keep it in the deep freezer. Okay, without salt, you can keep it in the deep freezer for months. 3, 6 months is okay.
Well, walk me through it. So if there's salt in the Tom Brown, yes, you can be kept, the shelf life is over a year plus. Yes, yes. But because we don't want salt for babies,
we do the maximum is 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, if you keep it on the shelf.
On the shelf.
Yes.
But what if you refrigerate it?
Yes, when you keep it in the deep freezer, it can go as long as 9 months. But for me, do it smaller quantities.
Okay.
So that the maximum you can go is 3 months. Because you see, babies' preferences will change. As the baby is growing, you might have to do other fortification. There might be a time you would want to fortify with even sweet potato powder. Okay, so when you do it for that long, babies get tired of the same stuff. So do it smaller and keep it for 3 months. Do it in the deep freezer.
Are we talking about the powder if we've prepared it?
Powder.
So if we've prepared it, how do we keep the rest?
Okay.
Yeah.
When you prepare in the morning for a child to go to school, it's in the flask. Okay. So when they go to school, they pour and feed the unfinished one in the bowl that the baby was eating. If baby did not finish, please discard, because you would add either the milk of your breast or baby formula to it. So if that one is not finished, discard. Even if baby wants to eat after 1 hour, discard. You know, this is so rich with protein, so it can easily deteriorate. If you don't smell anything bad or see color change, still discard. Okay, so that is why you have to ensure you fetch just a little.
bit.
So the one in the flask, baby can use for the whole day. If baby doesn't finish, discard. Don't keep it for tomorrow.
I want to put you on the spot. And I can preempt your answer to say, well, they all have their own kind of value, benefits. Yeah, but please help us, right? So for babies, between Hausa cocoa, right, rice water, Mori cocoa, the white one, right, and also Tom Brown, which will you say is best served for our babies?
Okay. If you have tried Hausa cocoa and baby light, you tried Mori cocoa and baby light.
See where you're going.
You tried rice porridge and baby light, then you can mix it.
All of them?
That is the Tom Brown.
I didn't see this coming. So you can actually mix Hausa cocoa.
You can mix millets.
Yeah.
You can mix rice. You can mix maize.
As a raw material, as a final product, as a finished product. Do I take like already made Hausa cocoa, already made Tom Brown, already?
Oh no.
So rather the raw materials used.
Yes.
So for example, the mixed grains, the maize, the rice, the millet.
Yes.
Why is it not too much for the baby?
I am saying Tom Brown because you would have added the nuts to give it
the
brown color.
To introduce the fats and protein into the porridge. Okay. Unless you are feeding Hausa cocoa and you have granite paste. And you will stir it in before you add your milk. Then I'm getting my Tom
You've given me a very proper dietitian response, like, and I didn't even see it coming. But I want to push further to say, as individual meals, right? So I have an option of finished Hausa cocoa, finished rice water, or rice porridge, finished Kondo porridge or Mori cocoa, finished. There's even this other one, Ekwegbemi. I don't know the English name, but Ekwegbemi. Which you say is more healthy, is more nutritious, is best served for your babies?
So baby food comes back to fortification. Fortification, and the nuts is supposed to add is supposed to fortify
the nuts,
the granite, the protein in the granite paste. So if you don't like the Tom Brown, for me, when I am raising a baby, because I want to really measure the amount of everything I'm giving, I would rather do Mori cocoa and fetch my paste, my nut paste, and stir it in. So I know I'm giving my child 1 tablespoon of granite paste, and I know the amount of protein I'm getting from there. Okay, stir it in, and that has fortified my porridge for me. Given the plain Mori cocoa or Hausa cocoa with the breast milk might not be fortified enough, as especially when a baby is not gaining weight. Okay, so you have to consider the need of the child. When the baby is not gaining weight, adding the breast milk to the rice porridge and giving alone might not be dense enough for the baby to gain the weight. So you come to the hospital, we call something, is it plumpy nuts? Yes, plumpy nut. When a baby is not gaining weight, we'll give you the plumpy nut to stay in the porridge before you feed. And plumpy nut, if you have your Mori cocoa and you use your 1 tablespoon of granite paste, pure granite paste, and stay in before adding your milk, it is fortified enough.
There's some questions here. I always listen to nutrition education on your platform. However, there's a missing link. Often the education, which is mass, seems to favor the elites and the rich, not in tune with the rural or the poor. Example, talking of fortifying porridge with olive oil. I think that since the program is for mass media, for the masses, room should be made for those in the rural and poor areas. From Yakubu Abdulaziz in Kumbungu. But I think you mentioned groundnut peas.
I can't really respond for you. I don't have the thoughts. We appreciate feedback. Feedback helps us grow.
But
and we do the show for them.
And then she said groundnut peas.
Yeah. But to be fair, if you followed this particular segment of the show, I think it's the most for the base than even every other class of society, because I think a lot of the things we talk, we've brought Suswa and things, to the studio, right?
Yeah.
And these things are
readily available in the rural areas that he's mentioning.
Even on the show, we are talking about Hausa cocoa. We know the people that queue to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So, Tom Brown, I get your point, but I think that we are also very deliberate in trying to make sure that we put out discussions that benefit everyone. So maybe today we are talking about olive oil, but for the past year, which this show has been running, it's been a
even
lot
after Anna said olive oil, she mentioned groundnut paste, which is readily available.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we acknowledge your feedback. Like I said, it helps make the show better. We are here because of you, but to be fair to the facts, we try to balance
quickly before we go, my daughter is 4 years and she doesn't like
maybe
food.
Just answer and
She's smallish. What can I do?
Please take the question again.
My daughter is 4 years and she doesn't like food and she's smallish. What can I do?
Yes. So make sure every food this baby is taking is fortified. So this baby, 4 years, yes, will take the Tom Brown and then make sure you are stirring in the nuts, okay? So if baby doesn't like Tom Brown, but when you have the nut in the already mixed Tom Brown, don't add the nuts. Some people will add after your cocoa, either Hausa cocoa or the Mori cocoa.
I used to like it a lot.
Yes. Instead of adding the nuts, some people will break in an egg, stir in. That is also enough protein. This baby you can introduce, but because she is 4 years, make sure you scramble the eggs. Let her eat her eggs and eat the protein. Give her small, frequent meals. So when she finishes her meal in the morning, I don't know the time she eats, but most children these days by 6:30 they are eating. Get her something around 8:30 before her snack at 10. So the 8:30 should be another porridge, okay? With or get ice kenke that we call ice kenke, fortify it with banana, granuts, bottle it for the child. They like it a lot. When she goes to school, she'll eat before the snack. The snack, don't give the drinks they take to school. Get another 45. So every meal she's taking should be small and fortified.
Be deliberate about the meal that you give the child.
Yes, right. And she'll gain the weight.
And there's a question here for you. This message by Hector_JC said that it's probably been mentioned, but you'd kindly ask for me, at what point should we use sweetness in our meals for babies, particularly breakfast, and which is best advised? Sugar, brown sugar, or honey?
Okay, so next week we are doing a session on sugar, brown sugar, honey, and all that. But to answer your question, no sweetener.
In your baby's meals?
In your baby's meal. If you give a sweetener now, you are setting her taste to take only sweet foods. And very soon, if you want to give other healthy foods that are not sweetened, they will be quick to reject. And you are also exposing the child to extra weight gain from these sweetness. And they will go for sweet drinks and sweet porridges. There's no difference between brown sugar
and white sugar.
It's
all packaging.
The value is the same.
And businesses trying to rip us off.
The calorie content is the same. So and honey is after 1 year.
All right. Thank you so
We'll be
much,
looking forward to
Anna.
the sugar conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and for that insightful conversation into nutrition for babies and toddlers. When we come back, though, we have sports for you. Don't go anywhere.
Brand new on DSTV. When a nominee to the Supreme Court dies, his family begins to suspect foul play.
Dad knew that he was in trouble.
Hollywood's darkest scandals are exposed in this gripping 6-part documentary series.
You have violence, fraud, homicide.
And a rich and powerful family is thrown into turmoil when a young woman claims to be the owner's illegitimate daughter.
You have another daughter.
Stay connected to everything new on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked. Welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Bawku has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yende, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed in us. You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
So much love in the air. What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for joining us on this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on a roll.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead. The megastar is here. Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
This June, the business wave is back and it's bigger than ever. The City Business Festival 2025 on City FM and Channel 1 TV, where it's all about business. This June, we will be celebrating Ghanaian businesses, re-examining our business modules and practices through our business forum, and sharing knowledge through our on-air business discussions. Make a business date with the on-air series every weekday at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show on 97.3 City FM and 10 a.m. on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. From expert interviews to real-world insights to the tools you need to grow. Don't miss a single moment this June. It's the City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business. Only on City FM and Channel 1 TV. Your business, your future, your time is now. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and let's grow together. The City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business.
The City Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 City FM and Channel 1 TV, and it's proudly sponsored by Absa Bank, MTN Business, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we are there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of Black Stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, Watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all gone, all yours.
Welcome back. This is still Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel One TV. My name is Jude Duncan. Just gone by a conversation with our registered dietitian helping us through meals you could, choose for your babies. If you missed any part of that discussion, it's up on our YouTube channel, Channel One TV. Go there, watch for yourself, subscribe, like, share the video. We'll now delve into the world of sports, right? So much is happening. The regular season is on break, but there are still football. There's still a lot of football activity happening all the way in the United States of America. And I'm referring to the Club World Cup. There are also some big transfer news happening. And of course, there are some headlines from other sporting events. And my colleague in the Channel One newsroom on the sports desk, Yahweh J. Minta, joins us in studio. Mint.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
One real mint.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
Don't mint.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, Mr. Duncan.
The cousin of the greatest.
Oh, yeah, the nephew.
The nephew.
The nephew of the greatest power forward in the history of the NBA. That is Tim Duncan.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Mint. Oh, Mr. Duncan. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm doing very well.
Good,
and how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh,
I'm very well.
I get people actually asking me, one time if I'm really related to Tim Duncan.
Lord.
Oh yeah. I mean Duncan.
In his dreams.
I mean, in long distance.
Long distance.
The longest ever.
Long distance.
Slave trade worried us.
Oh yeah.
It's cool. We'll
and on top of that, he's from the Virgin Islands, so you can clearly tell that he's a direct descendant from our great
I don't know why Eno is hating, but that's okay.
I'm not hating. I said it's the longest distance relative. I haven't said anything.
You said in my dreams, but that's okay.
Well,
guys, the big conversation today, we're looking at some transfer news, and of course, Club World Cup maybe towards the end. Liverpool, where are they getting the money from? Should we call the FBI?
We just won. What are you talking about?
You just won the Premier League title. You've been competitive in the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
competitive means what? A quarter-final finish?
Yeah, competitive. It's competitive.
I don't think so.
And Liverpool haven't been spending in recent times.
Yeah.
So what, the Coutinho money?
Yeah, the Coutinho money, they spent some of it. But remember, they had £100 million ready to offer to Brighton and Hove Albion for Caicedo.
Yeah.
And Caicedo moved to Chelsea. Yeah. So they had enough money already. And on top of that, they've been shrewd with their businesses. The signings that they've made, signing McAllister for £35 million. That's shrewd business. This guy is one of the best players in the Premier League. And he didn't even cost Liverpool £50 million.
That's actually insane.
That's actually insane. They got Grafenberg at a time where he was on the periphery of Bayern Munich's
and he's the best DM
DM in the Premier League at this point in time. And so they've been shrewd with their business. And on top of that, they haven't spent a lot of money buying in players because Ancelotti came in and he just bought one player. That's Federico Chiesa from Juventus.
And he rather turned out to be...
And he cost just £15 million.
Yeah.
So they didn't spend money. That was the only player they added to their squad before they started last season. That ended up with them winning the Premier League title. So they have money because they haven't been spending around, unlike Manchester United. And so they have money. And the few purchases that they've made, very shrewd purchases for cheap.
Do you feel Endo's Liverpool?
But I think they're overpaying for this guy, though.
I was coming to that. I was coming to that. You know, talk us through your thoughts around the transfer fee and whether or not he has the quality to justify it.
Yeah, he has the quality, but I don't think he has the quality enough to justify an amount that could end up being at 156 million dollars.
Does that make him the most expensive player?
Yeah, in the Premier League history, yes, that's the most expensive player.
What's he bringing to the table?
I mean, he's bringing dribbling ability, he's bringing vision in terms of his creativity and his passing, and he's bringing some solid level of goals or return of goals. That's what he does best, his creativity. He's a very, very good player. I expected him to go to a club like Man City and be Kevin De Bruyne's replacement. But some way, somehow, that move didn't end up. And yeah, I see him as a Kevin De Bruyne kind of player. And Kevin De Bruyne kind of player means that he's top notch. But yeah, paying like £100 million for him,
interesting.
I just don't see it because at the end of the day, you are projecting. He's young. He's 23 years old, and on top of that, he has some years left on his contract by Leverkusen. So you are more or less buying him out of his contract. So all of those things will lead to the insane amount that you are seeing.
Yeah, but you get a point that there's potential.
Oh yeah, massive potential. But it's just that I don't think he will meet the expectations that come with 156 million.
No, because you can't tell. You can't tell.
Oh, you can't tell. But if you sign a player,
you can make a reasonable guess.
Yes.
But you can't, forthrightly say he's not going to hit the target.
Well,
you get what I mean?
I am saying absolute.
Absolutely, exactly.
Okay. But it's very likely he wouldn't meet the expectations because if you come with this insane amount of money, that means that every year you have to get at least 12 goals and 15 assists.
Let me ask you.
That's the minimum. You have to get 12 goals and 15 assists. You have to make it to the Premier League team of the season every year.
We've overemphasized the role of stats in football, right? So much that now, even if you have to win a Ballon d'Or, they're asking you how many goals did you score. I feel like your overall contribution to the team should be the paramount issue, right? So you can go a whole season and not even score a goal. But what is he bringing to the team? How does his involvement in the team contribute to the overall performance of Liverpool's success, right? And that's where I think should be the basis, or that should be the basis for analyzing whether he's been worth the money or not. But let me just ask you this question.
That's fantastic, and I'm a supporter of what you said. I know my stats.
I try to know my ball small.
I look beyond stats. I look beyond stats. I've always.
So then you shouldn't say you shouldn't say that at the very minimum you should have about 15 assists and 10 goals, kind of.
Okay,
then
so
the argument.
If you don't get those or you don't meet those marks, then you should pass the eye test.
The eye test.
Then you should pass the eye test. Then when I sit there and watch you, I should see you ball. I should get that feeling like, this guy
like Cole Palmer.
Okay. Well, in the first half of last season,
don't do this.
Cole Palmer in the first half of last season, but not in recent times.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yes.
Maybe not as much. But I rate Bruno Fernandes.
Yes.
I think he's an absolute baller. Yeah. So you can be a rival fan and still admit. You can still admit, but that notwithstanding. Yeah. Where does he fit in the scheme of things, right? I see Liverpool set up. Alisson, whoever they have at the back line.
Yeah. And they're also in for Milos Kerkez. He's the left full back for AFC Bournemouth.
So he's a
direct
replacement for Trent, right? Robertson.
Jeremy Frimpong is a direct replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And guess what? They bought him for £29 million.
Liverpool know how to do business.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their attack particularly, and I'm struggling to see where.
He'll go on the left side of the attack because Mo Salah has that right side locked.
He has
that right side. Yes.
It's bona fide.
Yes. He has that right side locked. So Florian Wirtz is either going to the left side or he's going central, playing behind the striker. And that's what he's going to do. So it's likely Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz, their positions might be a little bit under threat. And
is he better than Luis Diaz?
Is he better than Luis Diaz? Not as a winger.
Is he better than Cody Gakpo?
not as a striker. So he's a tweener, more or less.
Is he better?
He's an inside forward. So he lines up on the wings, but he's always drifting to the central areas, and that's where he's most effective. And that's what you regard as an inside forward. So a guy like Coutinho. Coutinho would always line up in the wing positions, but he's not a winger. He does not have the pace to be a winger. He does not have that strength to be a winger. So he's always lining up on that side, but he's always drifting inside. And it's up to the fullback to be able to cover that space when he drifts inside. And that's why they are in for Milos Kerkez, because he's always on the attack. He's always occupying space upfield. And so you can clearly tell that Liverpool, they have the plan set up very nicely, and they've gone out there and they're picking players who fit the profile of the coach and the fit of the team. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting season in the next campaign, looking at what Man City have also done so far. So yeah, so far so good. But like I said, Florian Wirtz, yeah, great player, but if he does not meet those numbers, the eye test, he absolutely cannot miss out on the eye test.
That's a lot.
Pounds.
So,
Charlie,
6 is if he meets other things. Let's assume that he doesn't even meet it, right?
Okay.
No, if he doesn't meet it, the minimum is £100 million. If he doesn't meet it, 100 mil.
100
So,
Charlie, I don't know what that to do, you know.
It will change your life.
So yeah, so that's the rundown. But still on the Premier League, but in relation to what you mentioned earlier, the FIFA Club World Cup, because that's the biggest thing right now happening aside the transfers. Nicolas Jackson, Chelsea, your favorite Chelsea, Nicolas Jackson, he ended up getting himself sent off in Chelsea's loss to Flamengo. Flamengo were leading, Chelsea were leading, then Flamengo equalized, and he got himself sent off for a very reckless tackle. And all of a sudden, the concept of the game changed, and Chelsea went on to lose. And he's come out and he's apologized, but he's going to miss their last group game against Esperance de Tunis, and they are from Africa, one of Africa's representatives, on Tuesday. And you also have to look at it from the fact that Liam Delap, who's their new striker, has come in, and in 2 games he's registered 2 assists, all in this tournament. So it has led to questions about Nicolas Jackson's ability to maintain his starting place in the team, knowing very well that you are not producing at the high clip that they expect you to produce. And on top of that, you are becoming more and more of a hothead. And so your discipline has come into question. And yeah, it's very likely he might get supplanted in the first team by Liam Delap. And still on the FIFA Club World Cup, as you can see the pictures behind me.
It's literally empty.
Yeah, a lot of empty seats. Over 400,000 spectators, over 400,000 missing seats or empty seats.
Cumulatively?
Yeah, cumulatively were recorded in the first round of games. Now it looks like things have picked up in the second round because the numbers are improving. But the first round, it was bad.
The famous Mamelodi Sundowns game, right?
Yeah, ticket sales. Yeah.
Was it Mamelodi Sundowns?
Yeah, Mamelodi Sundowns and Ulsan of South Korea. They had 100 and 110 people in the stadium.
In the 25,000.
A stadium that had over 20,000 spectators.
What's happening?
I think it's because of a couple of reasons. One, the timing of the tournament. You are playing a tournament in America that is the same country that's hosting the Gold Cup. Now, the Gold Cup is the Central America and North America version of the AFCON.
Okay.
So they are playing the Gold Cup at the same time. As we speak, they are playing the Gold Cup. So America is in action, Mexico is in action, all the national teams in North America and Central America, they are playing.
So
Canada...
Too much soccer for a nation that
doesn't really like soccer.
Exactly, that's one. And 2, some of the players who are supposed to be playing for the teams that have qualified to play in the FIFA Club World Cup are playing in the Gold Cup.
Okay.
And up until recently, the MLS was still in action. They were still playing. So some of the players are still playing for their teams.
To be fair, if you take football to a country that calls it soccer, I don't think you should expect much, right?
Oh, master.
No, I think US have a rabid fan base and it's growing very fast. But it's just these factors. The timing of the tournament, that's one. And also, the times the games are played. Some of the games are played at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. On a weekday, people are working. And that's where Juice Point comes in.
They run a shift system.
They run a shift system. But at the end of the day, you have a situation where these are the preliminary stages. So even if my team is playing, I will still want to work and wait it out a little bit and see if they get to, let's say, the quarterfinal or the semi-final. That's when I can ditch my work and go out there and watch.
But
and so,
does it look like it's going to change? Will the seats be filling up?
Yeah, I think it's going to change, and I think it's already started changing.
Okay.
I mean, because now I think they've had the taste of what the Club World Cup is about. The hype keeps on going up and up. I mean, they found creative ways to bring in new audience, to get the word out there. I see iShowSpeed, guys who are streamers. That now FIFA are working with streamers in the States because they have the numbers just to get in new audience and bring in people to the stadium. They are bringing in a lot of the legends of the game to the stadium, trying to get people to come over to the stadium. So I think, it will definitely improve. And still on the FIFA Club World Cup, yesterday a couple of results also came in. Bayern Munich, they've qualified to the next round, the knockout stage. Flamengo, after beating Chelsea, they've qualified to the next round. Yesterday, Africa's representative, Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, they delivered a wonderful display in their matchup against Borussia Dortmund. They lost by 4-3. And Jude Bellingham's younger brother, Joe Bellingham, he scored his first goal for Borussia Dortmund after making that transfer from Sunderland to Borussia Dortmund. And later today, there are still some couple of games that are going to be played in the FIFA Club World Cup. At 7, Real Madrid will take on Pachuca. At 4 p.m., Africa's Wydad Casablanca of Morocco will take on Juventus. That's at 4 p.m. And so those are the games we should look out for. And for my basketball folks, at 12:30, early tomorrow morning. When was
the last time you had a game 7?
That was 2016 when the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's a long time ago, almost 10 years.
Yeah, that's when the Cleveland Cavaliers played against the Golden State Warriors, and LeBron James, in my opinion, cemented himself as the greatest basketball player ever.
That is debatable.
Getting his team to come back from a 3-1 series deficit and win the NBA title. Yeah, so that for me cemented his legacy as the greatest. But 12:30 a.m. tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, the Indiana Pacers will take on Oklahoma City Thunder in OKC in Oklahoma in Game 7. You win it, you win the title, because the series is tied at 3-3. 3 wins for Indiana Pacers, 3 wins for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So later, early tomorrow morning, 12:30, I'll stay up to watch it. I know my eyes were hurt, but I'll still do it. For the love of basketball, I'll still do it. So, Game 7, Indiana Pacers, OKC. I'm tipping the OKC Thunder to win. And once they win it, it will be their first title. And the same for Indiana Pacers. So, may the best team win.
May the best team win, you say. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I had a birthday wish, and let me use this opportunity to say a happy birthday to my very good friend Kwame Dawson. You know, amazing guy, super guy. You know, love you, bless you, have a great day, and of course, a happy belated birthday to the Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transitions, Honorable Richard Jan Mensah, also Member of Parliament for Gomoa West. You know, we see all the effort you put in for your people, particularly, and the work you are doing tirelessly at the ministry. We say, God bless you, have a great day, and we'll come and join you to celebrate. I know myself, I'll come. I know you come with me, right?
Yeah, definitely. We'll say hi to the minister.
You know, we'll come and celebrate with you. Happy birthday to you, Honorable Richard Jan Mensah.
That's our show.
Of course, there's also a birthday in-house.
Oh, yes.
So, a very good friend with administration. We work with her here at Channel 1 TV. Mole. Ifia Mole. Nadole Mole. You know, I have my own fight with her every time, right? Because I want to go and take something from the office. And she has her own issue. But like, happy birthday to you, Nadole Mole.
Yeah.
Have a great one. That's what time will allow us for yet another exciting edition. Thank you so much for doing it. Watching with us. If you missed any parts, it's up on our YouTube channel. Take care, be good. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Adoration with me, Edinam Bright Davis. Your moment of divine encounter right here on Channel 1 TV. It's a time to join us to lift up your hearts and hands in adoration to the King of Kings, blessing him for his goodness, his mercy towards us. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll tell you who our very special guest is for today.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and things of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensah.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
Welcome back from the break. This is Adoration with me, Edinam Bright Davis, right here on Channel 1 TV. Today's episode is a spirit-filled one with one man of God I'm so excited